everyone, and welcome to today's Demo Jam covering healthcare apps on the AppExchange. My name is Jeff Grosse. I'm a Salesforce MVP, and I'm kind of a regular host around here. But I've got with me a co-host who you've heard of before, Jodi Wagner, also a Salesforce MVP, and I'm glad to have her here today. Hey, Jodi, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Jeff. How are you?
I am fantastic. It is springtime, the snow is gone, and I'm ready for demo jamming all day long, although this is actually technically only a 45-minute webinar. But before we can kick things off, I gotta also say hi to Amanda Nelson. She is a marketer extravaganza from the Demo Jam, I can't speak today, from the AppExchange. Amanda, how are you today?
I'm great, Jeff. Thank you. And thanks to you and Jodi for hosting. I'm super excited for this webinar today.
Well, as you can tell, with my tongue being tied, I'm excited as well. You guys in our live studio audience can follow along live on Twitter with the hashtag DemoJam. That's exactly where you can put some comments out there, tell us that you're listening, share it with others, have them join with you, and then all together, you folks in the audience are going to vote for who is going to win the Demo Jam today. So you got to stick around the whole time. But who you're going to hear from today, our participants include Formstack, Kyruus, OwnBackup, Icertis, Vlocity, and Evariant. But before we can get into that, we got to go through a little bit of rules for how the Demo Jam operates. And to tell us all about that, Jodi, take away with the rules.
So unfortunately, we always have rules, but these are good. These will be fun. You, our participants, have 3 minutes to demo your app. You cannot use slides. It has to be a live demo. We will have one winner chosen by you, our audience. You cannot vote for your own company. And one new little rule is that our audience participation, please ask some questions in the chat and with the hashtag DemoJam hashtag, and we will answer them after all the demos. Now, let's get ready to rumble.
That's exactly right. So stick around, put your questions in anytime during the whole thing, and we will try and answer as many of them. Well, okay, we're going to answer a few of them at the end, but we really want to have those questions come in so that you can find out more about all of our demoers today. Just as a quick little word of advice, you're going to hear a few animal sounds throughout this, and those actually indicate the first one when 30 seconds are remaining, and then when the final 3 minutes is up, we actually pronounce that with a little bit of a sound that you'll also hear, but we'll see how well they're practiced, see how ready they are. And to kick it off today, I've got Avariant. They are on a mission to move healthcare ahead. They've spent over a decade creating healthcare's only patients for life platform. This is where they arm people with actionable intelligence. Healthcare providers can achieve indispensable value in terms of high-value service line growth, extended patient lifetime value, and an improved network utilization and planning. With me today, I have the amazing Bill Hill. He's VP of Solution Engineering. Bill, are you ready to kick off the Demo Jam with our first demo of the day?
I'm ready to go, Jeff. Thanks.
Let's do it. Your 3 minutes begins now.
Physician relationship management and liaison business development is an essential part of managing a health system in a hospital. Physicians are responsible for, on the low end, 1.5 million to multiples of that, depending on specialty. So being able to follow trends of volumes of referrals in and out of network, managing physician relationships effectively, it's a real labor and data intensive process. So we're taking billions of rows of data so that a health system can look at, in this instance, a trend over time. What's happening with my physician referrals? I can see, receiving referrals. I can see referring out to other networks. I can see physicians that have unresolved issues. I can see high-touch providers that I should be reaching out to, managing territories. So at a macro level as an executive, I'm looking at how do I manage these physicians effectively? And I can see a trend that's concerning, right? I can see that we're receiving fewer incoming referrals than normal. So my trend is causing me concern. So I want to reach out to my liaison community, those guys who are actually driving relationships with the physicians, going out and seeing those physicians and making sure that they're taken care of. So when I look at this particular territory for this particular liaison, I see this trend, once again, with my negative trend going down. But in this specific territory, I don't have that trending problem. So I know that that's not my problem. So I want to work with my liaison to make sure that we're managing physicians effectively. Like I said, physicians are responsible for money, right? They're the lifeblood of the organization. So I want for my physician liaisons not to have to go run reports and then have sticky notes sitting around and have my notebook and I'm running around in my car and trying to take care of these physicians. I want to help them by managing their territory effectively. We've created an Evariant opportunity score, which is something that we see as a way to drive this for the physician liaison to identify those high target individuals. So who are the people that I need to go after? What is the most, people that haven't been engaged with recently that have referral trends that concern me? So I want to be able to, highlight those folks. I want to create tasks for those individuals. I want to be able to manage those tasks effectively in one dashboard. I want to be able to see what issues are happening. Physician referral trends can decrease because of things as simple as, lack of parking facilities all the way through problems getting radiology, right? So my personal experience, I had a hip replacement a few years ago. The doctor, he referred me to a hospital. That hospital had done a good job of making sure that they were engaged with him, that they were taking care of his issues. So when it came time for me to have another hip replacement, I go to the same doctor, he recommends me to the same hospital. What this means for the hospital is being able to drive this best next action to focus on who are the individuals that you need to take care of to continue to drive that physician lifetime value as well as that patient lifetime value. Managing these tasks effectively helps them do that. Thank you.
You came in right under the mark. I was about ready to let the elephant loose on you, but you came in perfectly. Bill, appreciate you showing that demo. And one of the things that I got to say that I really like out of this, and I wish to see it other places, the EOS, that opportunity score, because when it comes to stack ranking data, when you have something that gives you a better look at what you should be working on and overall understanding the data, there's multiple facets to it. And so you can't just simply look at which one has the nearest close date. There's so much tied into that value. And then the other side of this, obviously it's a rich dashboard that we're looking at here, but being able to see those locations, the color that's going down in there about last engaged, and really probably why one of those is higher up in there is, hey, we've never engaged with that particular doctor before. So the picture that you're painting here is fantastic, and I like the way that you're dealing with, as you said, billions of rows of data and making sense of it, because obviously that is extremely important to the growth and the profitability and everything that a healthcare system needs. So thank you so much for that demo. We are going to hold off on the questions till the end, but Bill, stick around because your question's coming up later. And now I'm going to hand it over to Jodi for our next demo.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. So next up, we have Formstack. Formstack is no stranger to our demo jams. If you don't know who they are a workplace productivity solution built to transform the way people collect information and put it to work. With the #1 native form builder for Salesforce, Formstack reduces data chaos and solves important business problems, things that we're always looking to do. So I have Francis with me. He's going to be doing our demo. Are you ready, Francis?
I am, Jodi. Thanks for that introduction.
Great. Your 3 minutes begins now.
Perfect. So Formstack is the highest rated 100% native Salesforce form and survey builder. We've made form building super easy and highly intuitive, and you can actually get up and running with forms that collect data into Salesforce in just minutes. So whether you need a patient intake form or medical insurance applications or claim forms, medical history forms, or patient feedback surveys, Formstack has a way to improve and streamline all of those data collection processes with some really powerful features like a real-time Salesforce search and lookup, file upload capabilities, conditional logic, a save and resume option, e-sign, and much more. We also offer a HIPAA compliant solution for collection of that protected health information in a very safe and secure manner. Now, Formstack does not require any code or technical expertise to set up your forms. You would simply give it a name and then select the objects in Salesforce that you want to work with to collect this information. You can work with any of your standard or custom objects in Salesforce and work with up to 15 different related objects within a single form. So there's definitely a lot of complexity that can be captured there. The form builder itself will automatically recognize your configuration in Salesforce, including the relationships between various objects, your field types, validations, pick list values from Salesforce, and it basically just pulls all of that right into your form for you. So everything that you get onto the form, it's just drag and drop right from Salesforce. Your fields are automatically set up and mapped for you. So just by adding those fields into the form, it's set up and ready to go. We also have some really powerful styling and branding capabilities. You could select one of our templates that we provide, or build your own through these point and click options that we offer, adding in your own custom background, logo, headers, footers, and so on. You would then publish the form, and you can deploy it in a number of different ways. If you want to put that on your website or landing page, we allow for that. Inside Salesforce, within Lightning components or Visualforce pages for internal users, and also within Salesforce communities. So let go of your paper processes and manual data entry today and head over to the AppExchange to download your free trial of the #1 native Salesforce form builder.
Thank you, Francis, for that great demo. I know forms are such an important part of a lot of the things I do with customers, so I appreciate being able to see how Formstack works, just the way you can sort of extend out how you get data into Salesforce, and the added part about it being HIPAA compliant. Thank you. Jeff, you have our next victim.
I do, and it is coming today from Icertis. Icertis helps companies like Merck, Portola Pharmaceuticals, Johnson & Johnson, and Avariant manage their entire life cycle of the contracts directly inside of Salesforce, from contract creation through execution to managing complex obligations and commitments across any type of contract, which I'm sure within healthcare, I'm not entirely in that business. There are tons of types of contracts that you got. Well, the Icertis platform has native integration to Salesforce Sales Cloud, where they're recently named a winner of Forrester Wave Contract Lifecycle Management. That is actually very prestigious to be in the leader position there. And they received amazing scores for customer references. So to show us exactly what Icertis can do, I have Masood Khan here. Masood, are you ready to show us exactly how this works?
I am.
I want to see it, so your 3 minutes begins now.
Perfect. So good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Icertis is an enterprise-wide contract management platform, and what we do is we provide contracting solutions embedded right within native Salesforce. And what you'll see up here on my screen here is the ability to increase deal velocity. And what we mean by that is to increase and bring contracting closer to the salespeople as they're going through the process. So we handle all types of contracts, clinical trial contracts, physician participation agreements, and so on and so forth. We have an encrypted database on the back end, so your data is completely encrypted and secure. What you're looking at here on my screen is an opportunity that a salesperson is working, and he's got a couple of different products that he has on this particular quote and opportunity. We integrate natively into the actual quoting system within Salesforce as well as the contract objects within Salesforce or any custom objects as we go through it. We also have integration within Chatter. So we're able to pass data back and forth between the actual Salesforce platform as well as our Icertis platform. If I look at this opportunity, I have a couple of different products that I have for a total deal value of about 1.2 million. What you'll notice down here is our Icertis contract management solution embedded right here within the actual page. If I click on that, what you'll notice is the ability for me to actually view the actual contract that I have. Most enterprises have a contract that has any kind of an agreement or dollar amount going in and out. So contracts are essential to doing business with any entity that you may be involved in, whether it be a physician or whether it be any kind of a customer or supplier. If I was to do a red line on this and do a request review, I can send this directly to the customer. I can download this agreement, and here's an agreement that I can download. I can go into the agreement and I can change some pricing within this to make it a particular price. And what we'll notice as I'm making these changes and I upload this back into the system is that this platform will actually integrate back into the contract objects and the overall pricing opportunity itself. So what you'll notice is that as I upload this, it's bringing that back in to the platform. And what we'll notice is that the prices of the agreement will be reflected. So at this point, whether it's a quote that you're passing into the actual platform or whether it's any kind of pricing updates, all of that is reflected and synced back with the Salesforce platform to ensure that there's compliance and redlining and visibility into the actual opportunity. With that, thank you very much.
Right on. I was just about to give you the sound there, but good job with that. You know, here's what I see out of the entire process. Number one, you moved quickly into looking at each of the contracts themselves, which I know from being in the consulting space and seeing where contracts are stored, unfortunately, in file cabinets and everything else. Now you can carry on with business and understand exactly what's going on inside of each of your customers by seeing those contracts directly in Salesforce, but then also being able to see all the amendments and the changes and the differences that you're making accommodations for each of your different customers, and then being able to export it, redline it, change the products, all that stuff, and then you guys magically pull it back into Salesforce, mark all of those changes as part of that redlining process. You know, there's some wizardry behind that I frankly don't understand, but I'm glad that folks like you guys have a platform to be able to do it, and huge value for healthcare being able to see those contracts directly inside of Salesforce. So appreciate that, Masood. Thank you for the demo. Stick around. I've got Jodi to introduce our next demoers.
So I have up with us next Kyruus, which provides provider match for Salesforce, which seamlessly integrates into your Salesforce Health Cloud workflow to enable intelligent patient-provider matching, provider data management, and appointment booking. Access Center agents and discharge coordinators can easily match the right patient to the right provider and book an appointment facility directly into the underlying EHR. I have with me Amanda, who is the Director of Channel Development. She's going to be giving us our demo today. Amanda, are you ready to show us the magic of Kyruus?
I am ready here from Kyruus HQ in Boston.
You know what, Amanda, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you one quick second and just make sure that everybody out there in our audience today is keeping their questions coming. We appreciate seeing those come through the chat as well as out on Twitter. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Amanda, because I want to see what you guys can do.
Yeah, so welcome to Kyruus. We are really helping to solve this patient access paradox that is happening in healthcare. And through our partnership with Salesforce and integration into Health Cloud, we are solving for the last mile of healthcare, which is scheduling. One of the #1 activities that access center agents do within their call center or discharge coordinators is schedule appointments for patients. And traditionally, healthcare systems are working off of multiple EHRs. They have providers within different networks, and we're helping to bring all of that together in one understandable configuration within Health Cloud. So if I am an access center agent, I have a free floating text bar here, just like I'm used to on Google. The agents can type in anything they're looking for within the platform. We have a clinical library that we've configured over 25,000 different terms that map back to the appropriate provider. So if our patient Louis Palmer is saying that he needs a referral for a doctor for AFib or atrial fibrillation, you'll notice how easy it is for the access center agent to then connect the right patient to the right provider at the right time. The Access Center agent then has a configuration of all of the providers that map back to atrial fibrillation within that health system network. We know that even though online activities and searching for care online is extremely important to patients, 60% still want to pick up the phone and book for that personalized service. So we're enabling Access Center agents and care coordinators within the Health Cloud application to go in, find the right provider, and look at their schedule in real time. We're now fetching in real time from the EHR, Epic, Cerner, Athena, what is Dr. Colin Kelly's availability for Louis to come in for an appointment? Louis says, I'm looking for something on Friday. The agent can say, how does 11:30 work with you? Louis says, that is a perfect time. The agent can put in notes like a PCP referral from Dr. Smith. All of this information then writes back into Louis Palmer's case record. And I want everybody to see the scheduling magic. In real time, when I click book appointment, you're going to see a green box pop up on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. That is going to ensure the Access Center agent that that appointment was booked in real time back into the underlying EHR. Again, Epic, Cerner, it doesn't matter. We're leveraging a single pane of glass so that agents can stay within the application. They don't have to go from screen to screen, and then they can go back and look exactly throughout the timeline of the different activities that Louis participated within the Access Center. We can see his appointment here. We can see other schedules and visits he has. So we're really helping Access Center agents make their job easier. We're trying to break down those long call wait times, multiple transfers, and low call resolution. And that is Kyruus for Provider Match.
Thanks, Amanda. That was really great. It's really exciting to see all the changes in the health space and being able to see everything in such an easy and basically everything is at your fingertips here. And you can see on your screen, you can see the timeline, what medicines they've had prescribed, and being able to book those appointments. This is really great to see. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff.
All righty. It is time to bring on OwnBackup. And if you think about it, the most important information that healthcare and life sciences organizations have needs to be backed up securely. So OwnBackup helps them do that securely with all their Salesforce data. And in case of a loss or corruption, they can completely restore the data, metadata, and attachments. And you know what? OwnBackup is the solution to really ensure that you don't lose your data and that you remain compliant while operating in the cloud. You know, that all sounds cool, but why is it important for healthcare companies to back up Salesforce data? I'm going to tell you who's going to tell you exactly why today. That is Steve Malone. He is Senior Manager of Marketing, and he's got a friend with him who's going to also be demoing. Are you guys ready for a 3-minute extravaganza of OwnBackup? And you guys always take these on as challenges, so are you ready?
Ready to go, Jeff.
3 minutes begins now.
Healthcare organizations are required to have a complete backup and recovery solution to protect customer information and remain compliant. In addition to that, in the event of a data loss or corruption, it could take an end user weeks or even months and cost $10,000 if they don't have the right backup and recovery solution in place. Wait, Matt, why are you checking your email right now? We're supposed to be doing a demo.
Sorry, I just got an OwnBackup Smart Alert in my inbox that says 20 patient records have been modified. Let me take a look at the patient tab in Salesforce. Here we can see that all the patients are associated with just one doctor.
Whoa, that doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't. Let me go over and check the backup. I can jump over to the independent OwnBackup app. Here's our multi-org dashboard where you can see all the different environments in one place. Let's click on an org and you look at the visual graph. This will really help us see any changes. And if I come over here and look at this, you can see that, yeah, about 20 patients records were modified. Steve, do you know anything about this?
I was reassigning some patients a few days ago.
Really? Remind me to take a closer look at your user profile permissions later.
Yeah, you should definitely switch me to a super admin.
I don't know about that, Steve. Well, lucky I can switch over and look at our compare utility and see exactly what data was modified.
Here we can see that the doctor field values have changed. It looks like I accidentally changed all these patients to the same doctor. If you hover over them, we can see what the correct doctor values were. Now we know exactly what data needs to be rolled back to their original values.
Yeah, I can click onto the Restore tab here and look at the job that was looking at the patient object, comparing the values between two backup snapshots to identify the corrupted records. I'm going to go ahead and get this job started and get that corrupted data corrected in Salesforce.
Cool. While that is running, can we show some other features? Our Find utility is a great way to search for a particular record, like if you have a GDPR request to find data in the archive for a specific patient.
Absolutely. Our Find utility is perfect for both scheduling and compliance. I can select any of the environments that are being backed up, search within a particular point in time, enter a search term, and then get those results.
This will search all the backups within that specific time frame. Even if there are multiple versions of the record, we'll see all of them here in the results.
Yep, found it right here. And then go ahead and submit my GDPR subject request.
Awesome. Now, why don't we go back over to that restore job?
We can see the restore finished. I can see those 20 patient records were updated. Let me go back over to Salesforce, refresh this list view. And we can see those doctors have been corrected for each of the patients.
Unbelievable. So in just 3 minutes, we were able to analyze, find, and restore. We're OwnBackup. Learn more about us at ownbackup.com.
All right, at time here. That was actually pretty impressive. I tell you, you got to be careful of who you give the rights to change that data. But you know what? At the same time, accidents do happen. So don't fire Matt yet. Or wait, I don't know, Steve or Matt, whoever those guy was in charge of that. You know what? This is a fantastic solution for being able to roll back time to see exactly who is accessing this data, who's making those changes, and when you discover that there is a problem, being able to go in and mass change those easily, knowing the previous values. I mean, it's just a huge win, as well as the GDPR side of it there to say, hey, you know what, when somebody needs a compliance request and understanding exactly what you've done, you need to be able to go back to the data and understand historically who's touched those records and when. So I appreciate seeing that demo today, guys. You got it in right at the time there. Fantastic job. And before we go and do the voting, we got one more demo to go, and I'm going to hand it back over to Jodi.
Thank you. So last but not least, we have Vlocity. Vlocity extends Salesforce healthcare capabilities by providing an even more comprehensive, industry-centric data model, along with a library of configurable guided processes catering to all healthcare lines of business. This results in providing a fuller and more flexible experience for processes related to sales, setup, service, and partnerships. Also gives healthcare organizations a true 360-degree omni-channel experience. And we have Chris Lee with us today, who is going to be doing our demo for Vlocity. Chris, are you ready?
I am. Thank you so much. All right, so.
Great. Your 3 minutes starts now.
All right, great, thank you. All right, so in today's demo, we are going to talk about a guy named Jack Burton. And Jack, well, he's a trucker, and he spends nearly 300 days a year on the road. He's never at a desk or office or in front of a computer. In fact, he's just got a CB radio, and his only digital connection to the outside world, well, it's his smartphone. And surprisingly, Jack's happily married, and his beautiful wife, Gracie, well, she's 8 months pregnant. So Jack needs to be on top of his health insurance needs and needs to know details about his medical coverages at all times. Now, luckily, Jack's health insurance provider, well, they use Salesforce with Vlocity's data model, along with Vlocity's mobile app in place. So in real time, Jack has access at the tip of his fingers to information like his deductible, his max out of pocket. He can see his year-to-date spending. In fact, when he's on the road, he can pull up his ID cards just in case he needs to maybe check in with the provider. If he needs to go get his eyes checked, he can pull up his card. He can find his group number, his member ID information, his copay, any information the provider needs to check him in appropriately into the office. But it's not just about getting Salesforce data from the portal. What Jack can also do is he has actionability behind these items as well. So if you look below.
Hey, by the way, we're not seeing the change of the screen, so I like the Pork Chop Express, but there's something we're missing on the screen here.
Oh, I don't know why it's not showing. It was showing earlier. Why is it not playing now? Let's. Oh, good God. That's just how it works, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. You're in. Continue.
I'm sorry about that. Okay, so what I was saying is Jack has access to important information at his fingertips, like his deductible, his max out of pocket, his year-to-date spending. And in fact, when he's on the road, he doesn't have to bring his ID cards with him because he can access that all through the mobile app. He can see his vision care plan, he can pull up his group numbers, member ID, and any information relevant for him when he checks into his provider. Now, it's not limited to just the information from Salesforce. If you look below My ID cards, you'll also see that Jack has access to important information that he can also have actionability behind, like checking claims, updating profile, even searching for a provider. And the fact of the matter is, this is all provided through the Vlocity process library that is included over 200 different processes, and they're highly configurable, all managed through declarative tools using Vlocity tools that are native to the Salesforce platform. Let's take a look at a simple example of Jack. And we can see here that Jack can take a look at this information. We can provide step-by-step guidance. We can provide messaging as well. And if Jack needs to update information, such as his wife's last name, he can certainly do that. Go in here, make a few updates, and finish the process as necessary. So in just a couple clicks, you can let any user, just like Jack, access the Vlocity data model and guided processes to allow the ability to view information for Salesforce as needed.
All right, you know, the demo gremlins kind of got you there, but Jodi, go for it. Tell us what you saw and what you liked.
Yeah, so yeah, sorry about that, Chris. That does happen to the best of us. But I do like the fact that this is all on a mobile app, which is basically the way I access everything. So I think this is such a great, easy UI. You can see everything you need. You don't have to like sit down at your computer to figure out what's going on with your health insurance. I think everything looks really good. Jeff, do you want to?
Well, you know what time it is. You know what time it is? It is time for the voting. We have seen 6 demos today, each of them right at 3 minutes. We want to turn it over to you, the engaged audience. It is, well, actually, you know what? Sorry, wait. I'm sorry. Let's not do the voting yet. Let's do our questions first. Sorry. If you guys are dialing in.
I think we can leave it open.
Okay,
for both. Why not?
Okay. You may have seen the demo that you loved. You can go ahead and vote. But before because we changed the format here, I think it's actually time that we turn it over to Amanda Nelson to look at the audience questions, and let's bring up some of those with our panelists here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, yeah. So while the voting's happening, now you can only vote once. Only your first vote counts. So you may want to listen to some of the answers to these questions before you vote. But as soon as you decide, definitely go ahead and take out your phones and text to that number. Take out your phones. A for Formstack, B for Kyruus, C for OwnBackup, D for Icertis, E for Vlocity, and F for Avariant. Text those letters, one letter, to the phone number on your screen. All right, so the first question that came in is for Avariant. The question is, how flexible is the criteria for establishing what you call that next best action? Best next action.
This is Bill. That's a great question. I appreciate that. We because we're taking all of the data that we're getting from external sources around claims. We know what's happening with physicians. We can see trends in specific areas as well as trends in a more macro sense. We layer that on top of the Salesforce ability to manage that physician relationship effectively. So we know when we've been there. We know what the issues are. We know when they've been contacted. It gives us the ability to look at those multiple data components to drive that next, that best next action, that Evariant opportunity score, so that I can see, based on Salesforce transactions, what I've been doing with this physician, and I can layer that on top of what's happening in the industry, what's happening with all of the claims that we're purchasing and looking at and deduplicating, and then making sense of that data. We layer those together to make sure that it's a unique thing for your organization. So if there's weighting that you want to change, if there's a way that you would like to look at it slightly differently, those are all things that can be deployed when we deploy the system. So we try to come with that kind of 80-20. We've done this, hundreds of times. We want to deliver you value out of the box, but if you wanted to tweak that, that's certainly possible.
Cool.
Great, thank you for that. Next up, the question is for Formstack. Does Formstack work with Community Cloud?
Absolutely, yeah. Formstack has a Lightning component that we offer to be used within Salesforce communities. It's a drag and drop component that lets you put your forms within that Community Cloud. And through that process, it also enables you to recognize a logged in user, pre-fill their information, work with their existing sharing rules and permissions. So it kind of plays well with all of the permissions that you've set up in Salesforce itself. And that can work for any type of community license, whether you've got your patient portal with customer licenses, you've got your physicians with partner licenses. Formstack can handle all of those.
Awesome. All right, the question next is for Icertis. You showed contracts in the demo, but what other types of contracts can Icertis manage?
It's a great question. We are an enterprise class contract management solution. And what that means is that pretty much any type of contract, and mentioned a couple of examples of physician participation agreements, clinical trials, anything on the sell side, buy side, whether you're buying product or selling, products or services, we can handle pretty much any type of a contract or agreement, all the way from NDAs to, MOUs and so on and so forth. So that's a really key component, is our flexible architecture that allows the configuration and support of any type of contract you can possibly think of.
I don't know what an MOU is, but it's, being a Disney freak, I just say MOUSE. I'm sorry. Go on, Amanda. I just had to throw that.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Here, so there's another acronym I'm not sure of, so please, if you can explain it, Kyruus, as well as explain it with the answer to the question. How does Kyruus interact with EHRs on scheduling, and is it real time? And what is EHRs? And that's my question.
Yeah, so EHR is electronic health record. So that is how all of our health records are now stored, are an electric file. And those EHRs are companies like Epic, Cerner, Athena, GE Centricity. Every health system utilizes a different electronic health record system platform. And the key to our service is really taking those available appointments for those providers in real time, pulling them out of that EHR, and then scheduling those appointments for the patients back into the provider's record. That is really hard to do, and it's very hard to do in real time, but we've figured out a way with all of the smart people we have here to be able to directly schedule into whatever EHR that a health system may be powering throughout their network.
Yeah, that is impressive, I gotta say. You got
Thank
some
you.
secret sauce there.
Thank you.
Great, yes. On backup, is there a way to proactively identify corrupt data in cases of discrepancies?
Thanks, Amanda. Matt, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah, we can actually, all the backups, every day there's going to be a daily automated backup, and we have smart alerts that are available. You can set up thresholds for any object and determine when records are modified and get that alert. Like I showed you at the start of the demo jam there, you get that email alert that tells you a number of records were modified, deleted, or changed, or added on any particular object.
Cool.
Yeah, very neat. And then Vlocity, last question before we take a look at the results and make sure everybody is getting their vote in. Vlocity, the question is there a consumer version where a consumer could actually take out their phone, use Vlocity, and find all of the important health record data and information that you showed?
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to demo as well as I could have. But the Vlocity functionality, the data model, it's all native to Salesforce, and really you can extend the accessibility to all the functionality to any sort of user within your organization or that touches your organization. So really giving a 360-degree view. So whether it's your consumers or members or group admins or maybe it's your broker network, they all have accessibility to both that data model as well as those guided flows.
Awesome. Well, and because again, my Disney brain looks at Mowgli and I think of, that sounds like a character from a Disney thing. This is powered by Mowgli SMS. You guys can put your votes in now. You remember the only one that counts is the first one. So hopefully you'd prepared who you wanted to win. We're going to leave the voting open for a little while longer because we want to make sure that everybody's got their vote counted. But Jodi, I want to know, what are you getting excited for coming up in the Salesforce community? Is there some sort of a world tour? Is there a release coming? What are you excited about in the Salesforce world in the near future?
I'm excited for Trailhead DX. I unfortunately am missing out on World Tour London this year, but I will be at Trailhead DX, and there's a number of community conferences coming. It's really Salesforce season. Let's just rename summer to Salesforce.
It is, and do you know what? You can't see because I'm not on video today, but I'm wearing my London's Calling shirt from a couple of years ago when I went over, and we had a demo jam there. Mr. Francis Pindar is always a regular at that one. Jodi, I saw you at that event, and always fun. Actually, I've heard there's a world tour in New York City coming up on May 7th. Isn't that right, Miss Amanda?
It sure is, yeah, and we will have a demo jam there. In fact, we've had demo jams at every world tour. We had Toronto this past week, Boston the week before. It's been really busy and exciting.
I was there in Toronto. It was Nick Panter and myself. We had a fantastic time. I will say, though, that when it comes to the live ones, doing this with the silent disco headphones on adds a little bit of a challenge to the whole demo jam thing, because you're not quite hearing everything that's going on. But it was fun. We had a great crowd out there, so it was good stuff. All right, I see a winner slide coming up, which I think means we are ready to announce our winner. So without further ado, I'm going to give a drum roll, and then Jodi, are you going to reveal it for us?
I am. Go ahead with that drum roll.
Here it comes.
So we want to extend congratulations to Formstack. They are our winner today.
Yay! Congratulations, Formstack.
Congrats. So Formstack team, Francis, do you have any words, any thoughts, the joys, the lows, anything you want to tell us about?
Well, yeah, it's been amazing. Jeff and Jodi, you've been great hosts. Amanda, thanks for putting everything together. Thank you all for voting. Formstack is available on the AppExchange, and we are definitely the best application out there. So go ahead and download that free trial.
Awesome. I feel kind of like we were part of the academy there. We got the thanks for us, to everybody else out there, to the voting audience. These things are fun to do, and we really want to make sure that you as an audience are having fun with it too. Share the love out there. But before we sign off today, Amanda, what have you got to tell us for future events, kind of the take us out, take us through the end?
Yes. Well, thank you all. That was a great demo jam. I had a lot of fun. I learned so much. I'm not as well versed in the healthcare space, so I learned a ton about how these applications work for that industry, that vertical, and I thought that was really interesting. And thank you, obviously, Jeff and Jodi. You're amazing. We really appreciate you on the demo jam today. We have the next demo jam every third Thursday, so join us again for sales apps in May. I believe it is May 16. Join us then. And we are preparing for Connections and Trailhead DX, where both conferences will have 2 to 3 demo jams. So lots of fun coming up And just want to thank everybody again for coming. This recording will be on YouTube within a few hours, so you can check it out there. And make sure you install and check out the apps from today at appdemojam.com. They're all there ready for you to learn more. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.